Sean McDermott announced that they have benched Tyrod Taylor for rookie quarterback Nathan Peterman. The Bills are 5-4 and currently the 6th spot in the AFC. Stephen A., was this the right move?
I hate to say it, but it is. He went 9 for 18 for 56 yards last week in the loss to the New Orleans Saints. It is not Tyrod Taylor's fault that Buffalo's defense allowed 6 rushing touchdowns. It's not his fault in that regard. But you do have a guy that's been sacked 28 times, a guy that is perceived as not going through his progressions, a guy that's perceived as an individual leaving the pocket entirely too early. Not to mention the fact that the Buffalo Bills showed their lack of faith in him because before he restructured his deal, the money that he was due to earn was tantamount to less than what Mike Glennon was getting from the Chicago Bears. And so when you look at it from that perspective, clearly there were some issues that the Buffalo Bills had with Tyrod Taylor as it pertains to looking at him as the future of this franchise at the quarterback position. I like him personally. I think he can play, but sometimes I do think that he does not go through his progressions. I do think that he leaves the pocket entirely too quickly. I do believe that because of that, the players themselves, I can't believe that a first-year coach in Sean McDermott is just going to make this move without consulting with those players, not to say getting their approval per se, because he's the boss, but sort of just reading the tea leaves and getting the impression that change needed to be made. And when you're 5-4, having lost 2 straight, and you have the potential to make moves and to make a move within the AFC division, conference rather, you're not going to sit up there and stall doing so because of Tyrod Taylor. You're not going to do that. So, I don't mind trying it. It's not like they're saying this is our quarterback, this dude Nathan Peterson, he ain't going anywhere. He's our guy for the rest of the season. But to take a look, Peterman, but to take a look at the guy, to see what he's made of, I think that Tyrod Taylor's performance warrants at least that kind of change for the moment.
Tyrod Taylor's shown flashes. Throughout his career, he's shown flashes. But he's not consistent enough. You know, the difference between, I don't have to go all the way to Russell Wilson or someone like that, but like Marcus Mariota when he's on the field is just more consistent, can do a lot of the same things, but is just more consistent, let alone the elite quarterbacks who can do everything Tyrod Taylor can do, but they can be the best version of him consistently. He's inconsistent. This is why, Stephen A., remember after the Super Bowl or beginning of this season, I forgot already when we did this, but we're talking about who's more likely to get back to the Super Bowl, the Falcons or the Patriots, and everyone goes Patriots by default because that's always the answer, I get it. And not to take anything away from Brady or Belichick. By the way, I want Patriots fans to listen to me very carefully. Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm not disputing that or taking anything away from them. But they have a much easier road to get back because the AFC East, Stephen A., I pointed out at the time, Matt Ryan has Jameis Winston, who seemed to be an ascending quarterback. Maybe he still is. Drew Brees, MVP. Cam Newton, MVP. Matt Ryan, MVP. Like, that has a lot of quarterbacks in his division, the NFC South. Meantime, the AFC East has Tom Brady, and what I said at the time was, no one, and no one. Apologies to Tyrod Taylor. In other words, the Jets don't have a quarterback. We all know that. The Dolphins don't have a quarterback. We all know that. They don't have a guy. At least the Bills, I was forced to say, apologies to Tyrod Taylor. He's not quite no one because he's shown enough where you think, can he do it? Maybe he's better than your average replacement level quarterback. He's simply inconsistent. He doesn't force me to say, hey, in the AFC East, the Bills do have Tyrod Taylor. And so he's the kind of guy who might get benched in the course of a season. You know, when he's going well, you got a guy, but he is inconsistent, and that's what separates the franchise quarterbacks from the starting quarterbacks, from the bubble kind of replacement level, maybe they're starting quarterbacks. Guys like Taylor in the beginning of their careers, they get a little leeway, right? You can mess up a little bit because they're still seen as potentially good. After a couple seasons of the inconsistency, once that brand wears off, you're just a kind of replacement level quarterback, and I think he's there.